left because we had to get new panties. Didn't nobody tell us we had.
No, you can use it. Okay. You can use it. Can you get an order for everybody as far shit? Anybody I'll do it when they come back. I'm a little bit of a control freak. Actually, I'm a lot of bit of a control freak. So yeah, when things are not going remotely close to where I have it in my mind, I turn into someone completely different, and it's really hard to work with me after that point.
So we woke up mad early for really no reason because breakfast wasn't done until like 11. Now we're trying to do the Dapper on a Dime shoot. And I guess all the models were supposed to meet up, and some of them left to get food, which I don't blame them because we starving over here.
The models came in, they were hungry, obviously. They woke up late and did not get breakfast, even though breakfast was put together by Chelsea from Peach Chef Atlanta. So I've been hearing the whispering around, talking about how we left. Listen, they didn't even have breakfast ready until 10 a.m. And then they said we had to leave.
I just want us to start with a little, controversy. We're going to get to that scene in just a minute. Welcome to welcome to Hot Pink Pride Media Podcast, where we amplify the voices of the LGBTQ community and celebrate their stories. I am your host, Evangelist Cherie Stern, and I'm so excited to bring you inspiring interviews, thought-provoking discussions, and the latest news and trends from the queer world, okay? So whether you identify as LGBTQ or are an ally, this podcast is for you. And I am honored to be joined by my co-hosts and affiliates, author T. Bell, repping the Dirty South, who will be bringing her unique perspective to the show and helping us to explore tonight's amazing guests and topics that we'll be covering. And then on the West Coast, I've got Miss B of WGHP 102.4 FM. I hope I have your call sign right.
Oh,
Who has Go
absolutely. You
ahead.
got it right. You got
Okay,
it right.
thank you. And Ms. B comes to us with a wealth of experience in the entertainment industry and knows how to get people engaged and excited. Matter of fact, she is responsible for one of our guests here tonight. So, my baby brother from another mother and the Heavenly Father, Arthur T. Bell. What's up, little baby?
What's up? What's up? How is everybody doing? First of all, I'm finna go off script a little bit. Happy
Right. Pride Month.
Pride
Yes.
Month.
Okay.
Yay! Hey,
Okay. It's your birthday.
already can I drop a little knowledge? And I
Please.
just learned that Dallas, Texas was the first city in the United States to fly the Pride flag. This is second year. Big
Wow.
ups, Dallas, Texas.
Okay. I did not know that. Thank you for that history lesson.
Already,
Okay.
but all in all, it's great to be here with y'all. Cherie,
Okay. Yes.
Miss B.
Okay.
What's going on,
Man, I'm
everybody?
just excited to be a part of this conversation. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Looking out for the small people.
Yes. Yes. Miss B.
Likewise, TBL. And I'm thrilled to be here. And it's such a talented group of individuals and hosts. I want to shout out my man's out there. He in Dallas too, but he's originally from Detroit, Michigan. So I want to say what up, though, to my Detroit family. Mr.
Yo,
U.
Okay.
what up, dope?
That's what's up.
Not ready.
All right. Well, today we are thrilled to be joined by two incredible fashion influencers who are not only experts in their respective fields, but also committed to making a positive impact on the world through humanitarian and philanthropic efforts, as they not only influence and set fashion trends, but they also coach and inspire others to be their true, authentic selves. Okay.
Okay.
That's what's up.
I
That's what's
like
up.
that.
It's on me.
Yeah, it's on you.
Oh,
We got
my
something.
bad, y'all. I've been working all day. Well, our
Hey,
first guest, she's a trailblazer woman who has made waves as the creator of SVTVS, popular reality show stud model project
okay.
featuring MOC women in the fashion industrial, and has since become a fierce advocate for diversity and reputation position. Look, y'all, I'm sleepy. In the fashion
Representation in the
industry
fashion industry.
Don't help you.
already. She is here to tell us all about her inspiration behind the show and what it was like to work with such a talented and diverse group of women. Please welcome Teresa Manna.
Marco. If
Y'all
we
been working
butchered
all
your
day and I'm
name,
country.
it's okay.
Listen, I love the authenticity. Thank you guys for having me. I am also tired, so I understand you. It has been about 10 or 12 days of nonstop Black Pride celebration last month. And so I trust me, I can relate. But thank you guys so much for having me. I'm Teresa Morcho, and I am the founder and creator of Stud Model Project, and as well as the writer, creator, executive producer with another executive producer that we have on team that helped me put together this show. And
Yes.
oh man, we had a blast. We had a blast putting the show together, and we just hope that you guys enjoyed it just as much as we did filming it.
Well, that's the thing, Teresa. I'm like Tammy. We have not actually even seen Stud Model Project. Didn't know that it even existed until a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
we had a few videos go viral last month, doing well over together. I think it's like 10 million views together.
Mhm.
And when those videos went viral, we just got an influx of new people who support us and love what we do, and really feel like the synergy is there, the vibe check is there, and we're just trying to do our part. We're just trying to do our part and making sure that everyone has a seat at the table when it comes to fashion, when it comes to modeling, and when it comes to the creative industry in total.
So
That's what.
where exactly did this project air, and where can we watch it if we want to see it today?
Yeah, so this believe it or not, this was supposed to be a pilot. It was supposed to be a one episode pilot that we recorded and put out there so some industries can take, and say, hey, there's something there. We can make a show out of this. But once we got there, we were having so much fun that we were able to create an entire season, which is a pilot season, but it is available on SVTV Network. So if you subscribe to SVTV Network, you'll be able to watch the entire season. We have a couple of episodes on YouTube, but yeah, it's on SVTV, and it is probably the funniest and most fun thing I have done pre-COVID.
Okay. Okay.
Absolutely. So we're going to get more into that as well because we definitely want to get all the information and
Yeah,
where to watch, how to watch, and just go through the process with you. And Miss
yeah.
B, you're also responsible for our second guest.
All right. Well, I want to bring to you guys this next guest who is a rising star in the men's fashion world, known for his impeccable style and eye for detail through the brand Mr. Youth Closet. He is an image consultant and a designer who has worked with some of the biggest names in the fashion industry. He's here to share his insights on how to look your best, no matter what style or body type. We'll talk about his favorite trends and get some tips on how to incorporate them into our own wardrobe. We've also found that he's also passionate about giving back, using his platform to support, mentor, and empower young men in the community. Dubbed the godfather of fashion. Please help me welcome Rodriguez Underwood.
Okay,
Thank you
Rodriguez,
guys
it
so much.
says greet the people. Thank you.
Thank you. Like, look, thank you guys so much. I'm so excited to be on this platform. I had 4 interviews today on my own platform today, so it's like I've been doing a lot of talking, but I'm so excited to be here. And I love what the lady said earlier about fashion and making sure everybody has a platform, because I mean that's really what I stand for. That's why I really appreciate the opportunity on being here, because fashion, um, that's really how that's really how I view fashion. Is like fashion has no color, shape, form, or size. You know what I'm saying? Fashion is for everybody. You know what I'm saying? I feel like as long as you got that confidence, you know what I'm saying, go out there and rock it, have fun, and express yourself no matter what you believe in. So I really appreciate you guys for having me.
Now, Mr. Yu, I want to know, because you're originally from Detroit. What brought you to Dallas? Was it the fashion world?
It was definitely the fashion wear. I mean, I move according to that. I was in Detroit for years. I feel like I had maxed out up there. You know what I'm saying? I was doing multiple shows a day. I was representing artists. I was producing. I was doing a lot, and it got to a point where a new wave of talent came in, and I kind of felt like it was time for me to move elsewhere and continue to expand my brand. So I was hearing a lot about Texas, and I wanted to come down here and see, so what the industry was looking like. And when I first got there, I lived in Houston for 5 years. And within those 5 years, I traveled back and forth to Dallas, doing speaking engagements, doing photo shoots, producing shows. And what led to me here in Dallas was the fact that I felt like Dallas was a little bit more business savvy when it comes to the industry. So that's why I kind of made Dallas my home for now.
Nice.
Okay, and we're glad you did. Okay, sprinkle a
Trying
little
to.
style, a little
That's
with
what I'm
that
saying.
Detroit. Okay.
Yes, they
And,
still trying to adjust to it. They still adjust to it. They be like, well, man, how do you like? Because my style is so different. You know what I'm saying? And down here in Dallas, they don't quite put it on like I do. But they're definitely embracing it, and I see so much potential down here. So I'm enjoying it.
and I recently just saw that you're doing like a etiquette teaching classes within the schools with children,
Yes.
and I
Yes,
definitely want to hear a little bit more about that, because I truly commend you for doing such great efforts with our youth.
and, and I'm gonna tell you something. That is definitely a milestone. Not only a milestone, but something that I'm definitely really passionate about, because going into the schools, and that particular school that you guys, that picture right there, that was actually an alternative school. And so I was invited out to speak to those guys to kind of like help redirect some of their decision making. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like, as far as presentation and grooming yourselves, all of that plays into your self worth. And when you have that self worth, it kind of like helps your decision making. You know what I'm saying? Going out to the world, and your self esteem and how you feel about yourself. So when you have those qualities, it helps mold you. You know what I'm saying? It helps make you. It kind of like helps change the direction of your path when you can kind of like have that self-esteem about yourself. And it's crazy, but that's what fashion does. Fashion, when people are able to put on fashion and have that self-esteem and feel good about themselves, you're able to go out into community and produce and be more effective with, what you're doing, and it's a true fact. Like wardrobe and fashion has a philosophy. It has a chemistry about it, has an energy and an element about it. When you dress nice, and you present yourself, somehow you're able to be more productive and more, more excited about what you're doing.
That is true. You never get a second chance to make a first impression. And
Right.
I try to tell people that all the time. Like when you go out, you want to represent who you are. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Right.
Because basically they already don't put you in a little box. You're a black
Yeah,
man,
already
you this, you that.
stereotyping you.
You
Yeah,
already
already judging you. You
stereotyped.
know what I mean?
So
So
yeah.
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 And not only not, I mean, that's a huge accomplishment. That's a huge accomplishment for me in my industry to be able to, like, all the stuff that I've done, like from Alabama to Detroit to down here in Texas. I've hosted New York Fashion Weeks. You know what I'm saying? I've traveled to Atlanta, did big events. I've been to Florida, hosted big, you know what I'm saying, fashion weeks. I've done a lot in my career. And, you know, I thank God for that because it has allowed me a voice to
Yeah.
be to be of an influence to a younger generation where people actually contact me to come to their schools and speak to these kids. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's
Yeah.
something not
Absolutely.
everybody gets to do in their career. But the fact that I've did so much amazing things that people see me as being able to come in and do these things. You know what I'm saying? And believe me, guys, I be just excited as the students be. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's exciting. It's like I said, it's a milestone. But not only that, it's something that I'm very, very passionate about, and something I definitely want to continue to do.
Absolutely. Well, please keep on. You have definitely our support. And we're actually going to, later on in the show, we're going to be tackling the topic of toxic masculinity that can affect, young boys, masculine of center presenting women, because, masculinity can, be one of those things that's fluid, but sometimes people don't want it to be fluid. Sometimes people want masculinity to be black and white, and that's it. So we're going to talk about that a little bit later, tackling that topic and its impact on fashion, the trending now, and from the way men and MOC women are expected to dress to the way they're told to act. We'll be
Mm.
examining how toxic masculinity has influenced the masculine image in fashion today and really in the world, and really what you two have done on either side of it to, to make a positive impact. So let's just sit back and relax and get ready to hear all about the latest fashion news and trends from two of the industry's top experts. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and join our Facebook group and follow us on Instagram and TikTok, all at Hot Pink Pride Media on every platform. So that's for even more fashion, music, and lifestyle content. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Now, Evangelist, I do have a question for the guest who has the Stub Model Project.
Well, actually, yeah, we're
When is
actually
the next casting?
we're
What's the next? Because I'm trying to be a part of that now. Even for Mr. Youth Fashion, I'm trying to be on this runway, but I'm really interested in this stud project.
Now, I will say the gentleman that was speaking, is that Mr. Hughes? Is that is that the name you
Yes.
go by, sir? Okay.
Yes.
I
That's
do
my
want
plan.
to actually touch what you said about etiquette and just presenting self. I was forced to go into etiquette school. It wasn't my choice, but I went because I'm not from this country. I'm from Cameroon, and there were certain processes that my family wanted us to be set up for success. They
Right.
wanted us
Right.
to be able to bridge those gaps when we encounter situations where our race is a blockage, or our gender is a blockage, or our
Mhm.
sexual orientation is a blockage. When you get to those points, you can revert to some of those soft skills that you're talking about: etiquette, looking
Yeah.
presentable, looking good, showing up confident. Some of those things can remove some of those roadblocks that we already have set in society. So I absolutely love what you said. But when it's casting, so we're always casting. Our casting is currently open right now, so we're always casting new models. We don't have a schedule right now for the next show, unfortunately, just because times have changed.
right.
Times, you know, and I say that because we were trying to shop the show around when we first brought it out and wanted to shop it to bigger networks, but COVID happened, and
Right.
it stalled everything. And in those 2 years that COVID happened, the industry of reality TV changed. The industry
Okay.
completely changed. People want authentic stories. They want big small stories, meaning big smalls about big stories about small communities and small groups. Like they want that microscopic lens look into,
Right.
people's lives that they've never seen before. TikTok has done that.
Mm-hmm.
So with our show, we kind of had to go back to the drawing board and say, hey,
They want more of a person they can relate to.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yeah. So instead of having this cast that looks, curated and, I want raw stories. I want to meet people where they are. I want to see what their roadblocks are and see how we can overcome those. I want to tell each person's story authentically versus trying to put them all in a house and create, and see what drama unfolds. I'm not in that space anymore. So
Okay.
I kind of want to tell some true authentic stories and use fashion as a tool to do that. And so we're kind of back on the drawing board to see what fresh ideas we can come out with and then make it more easily accessible to our community and our supporters by probably going through a more easy streaming platform like a YouTube or something like that. But yeah, that's kind of where we are. So I promise you, when we have casting, I'm coming to find you. All right, Miss P, I got you.
I got
Okay.
All right.
I got a
I'm
question.
ready too.
For the modeling project, is
Yeah.
it more like do y'all have like a body type?
Great question. So, the only thing that we recommend at our modeling agency is that you fall on the spectrum somewhere in masculine presenting and you were assigned female at birth. That's it.
That's what I wanted to
Okay.
see right there
Yeah.
because I didn't
Yep.
see it in the first one. I
Yeah.
didn't
So,
see me in
Yeah.
the first one. I was like, oh, I'm just saying for the
no, we have all body types. There's
okay.
actually a model right now that I am extremely interested in bringing on, and she's actually she's in a wheelchair. And there's another model that I'm looking at actually that is part of the I hope that I'm saying this right, y'all don't cancel me, but she's a small person, and so I want to bring some of these different body types on because masculinity looks different
Yes.
in
Mm-hmm.
all of its spectrum, and when we're talking about people of color that are masculine presenting women or masculine presenting trans people, we pull our fashion sense from the Black community because that's the community we're close to. However, the society has says the Black community's masculinity is a thug, and it is not.
Right.
There is a spectrum of that. Just like, we have
Oh yeah,
Mr.
I'm
Hughes here with a nice
classy.
hat, and y'all are
Yeah,
classy. You know what I mean?
yeah, I'm classy.
So
I
when you
keep it
have
classy.
that spectrum, I try to show that spectrum in all of its forms. We like street fashion, that's great, but we like to show the dapper look. We just
Mm-hmm.
did a 70s shoot the other day. So we just
Okay.
want to show that there is diversity. We're about to actually have another shoot where it shows like their feminine and masculine side. We're showing
Wow.
cosmetics. We've done cosmetic shoots where they're modeling, the creams and the lips, the makeup removers or the Noxema or all of those things we can see ourselves in. And so it's hard for me to go to an industry and say, hey, you should put them on there because they can't visualize it. A lot of them just can't visualize how that would look. So a big part of our project was visibility in the beginning, was just trying to get as many of these images out there as possible to just debunk what society already had
Right.
in mind of what masculine presenting women look like, because we have the Cleos, set it
Mm-hmm.
off. We have the Snoops of the wires, we have
Yeah.
the Kiki Palmer that just played pimp. Like, enough of the stereotypes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to give something different and then also create a safe space for our community to just
Right.
do what they do.
Okay.
Well,
And
that
also
was
what
my question. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
I love about what she was saying as far as like the diversity. I've been in the industry for over 24 years, coming up on my 25th year, and I've seen so much change in the fashion industry. And I love seeing some of the images that you guys were just displaying as you were speaking. Plus size modeling has come a very long way. I remember back in the day, it probably was like not like 10, 15 years ago, plus size modeling was not a thing so much so in the industry. But now you see a lot of it, you know what I mean? But I think that goes to show the growth and the diversity and the range of just how much people, how many people that fashion actually touches. And having a chance, the opportunity to work with a lot of plus size models, they have some of the biggest personalities, in the industry today. You have a lot of the small petite girls, they, they had a little attitudes where, they was like, they thought they was everything, but now it's like the industry has opened up so much more, even with, since some of the images, you see a lot of more tattoos more acceptable now in the industry than they used to be back in the day.
Right.
And I think that does come from more of an urban standpoint in the industry with, those things being able to cross the board now, because of, who wears a lot of fashion better than us? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You guys remember not too long ago, you had all these big publicities with Tommy Hilfiger and all these other the other brands that I don't really care to name, but they was, they was like discriminating against, us so much because of, but we was the one that was spending the dollars and buying their
Supporting,
stuff.
right? Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
we
what
made
that is.
Gucci a whole verb. Like, come on.
I'm telling you, like, the thing I love about my
Again,
people is like we could take a little
that
bit of
shows the power. That
anything.
shows the power that we have.
Yeah, we could take like the clearance rack, for instance. We could take a whole outfit from the clearance rack and just rock it. Just rock
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
Just rock
Absolutely.
it. Make it your
And
That
own.
was actually part of your project I was looking at in that
yeah.
second installment on the. Let me just play a little bit of that because we're going to talk about that and get into some of these brands that we're repping. Okay, hold on
Yeah.
one moment.
Yeah.
We left because we had to get new panties. Anybody tell us we had to get some damn new panties? We don't know why we need these new panties, but we know we need them.
They came on set unprepared and had to leave set to go pick up nude panties. Prior to them being invited to come on set for Stud Model Project, we requested that every model have nude panties, thongs, or just nude panties. And we had a lot of pushback. We had so much pushback from that because I guess being masculine, it is just an uncomfortable thing for someone to ask you to have to put on thongs or women panties.
Well, they told us that we have to wear nude panties, so it was either a new look or just bare booty cheeks. So the new draws.
Really? Okay. I got to ask the question. What a new
I think
panties?
I'm gonna be honest too. I think I'm gonna have a little uncomfortableness with
I'm
that
a little
one.
lost. What a nude panties?
Okay,
What's
Mr.
that?
Hughes, I'm gonna need you to back me up on this one, okay?
What's nude panties?
So, listen, when you are going and showing up to work with a designer, the fashion designer, you don't know what they're going to put on you. You don't know what their garment is. You don't know what the style they're looking for. You're supposed to show up as a blank canvas. And so
Right.
if they have you sitting there as a blank canvas, they want you to wear some type of underwear that is as minimal as possible, but still covers the things that it needs to cover. So that way, when they style you, you imagine going in and you got on boxer briefs and they got to put on like some leather pants on you that's fitting. And now you got all the, all the lines going through on your thighs and so on and so forth. You know what I mean? So I told them to bring that because you never know. Someone might want to put you in like some pants that are made out of lace where you get to see everything. And, but you want to look like you have on underwear underneath. So they want to put you and make you look like Prince. I don't know. So you want to be a little flexible in a sense where you bring those things just in case you need them, because you never want to be a new model going into a go see or casting and you're giving pushback just because you don't want to wear panties, because men wear jock strap,
I'll buy you some panties.
because the G-string for men is jock straps, and sometimes in the modeling industry they're forced to wear that because that's the least amount of so again, that's where we go with that toxic masculinity thing, where it's like anything that makes you feel remotely feminine is just out of the picture. And we had so much pushback from the models because they were like, "Why? Oh,
I was,
you
I'm
trying to
thinking
set
right
me
now,
up?"
maybe I'm trying to sign up for the wrong stuff.
Look here, look now.
I'm like,
Look, I
you
was
know what I'm
like,
saying?
wait,
I'm
hold on,
like,
maybe I'm not the person for this project.
You the right person. I'm gonna buy you some. Matter of fact, give me
No,
your. I'm gonna ship you
you know,
panties.
because they're like, "You trying to play
is
me?
it?
What you trying to do? You
Hey,
trying to
That's
da da
fine.
da da
Hey,
da."
I'm gonna ship them
And
to
I'm
you.
like, and then on top of that, I'm like, first of all, you're gonna try these people's clothes on, and then you have to give it back. No one wants the pants on your bare.
Oh
Like,
Lord.
they need a barrier. You know, you need a barrier. And so
Well, you know what?
sometimes,
Traditionally, if you as old as I am, you know that masculine center stud butch women hate wearing panties. They would
yes,
rather wear Nikes or Calvins or something. So I want to
yes,
get into this collab that you had with Nike, and you got this, great photo shoot because that does kind of shift the norms in the industry where the companies are making their clothing, their offerings, their underwear,
yeah,
fit, what's really going on. So
yeah,
that a woman wearing boxers is not gonna feel like she's, wearing men's boxers where it's all, too much somewhere and not enough somewhere else. But
hmm.
now these companies are catering to our norms. So tell us about this project that you had here with Nike.
So this one was actually Calvin Klein. So
My
Calvin
bad,
Klein.
my bad.
Oh no, you're fine. You're fine. You're fine. Calvin Klein usually has some campaigns on an annual basis. They're different campaigns. This one campaign was I think it was uh, in my Calvins or something like that. Proud in my Calvins is what this one was. So you take your photos and you hashtag Calvin Klein, and then you have an opportunity of being featured on their website, on their social media platform, and things like that. So this one, they had to go in and model for Calvin Klein. I didn't have a lot of pushback for this, believe it or not. These models love being naked. It ain't. I said they love it. Every time I have a photo shoot of like Fenty, Calvin Klein, or like any kind of underwear shoot, I
Mhm,
am back. I'm like full because every photo shoot is roughly around 15 to 20 models. But every time I have those, it is sold out almost immediately. So they love showcasing that they can do these things and they are happy with their bodies. And a lot of them, not all of them identify as women. We do have some that are non-binary and some that are
mhm.
trans men, but all of them like to show that they are happy with their body. And
Right.
so that's a
yes.
misconception in the society, is that when you see, especially for studs, they see
Mhm,
studs and they're like, oh, they want to be men. Oh, they want to be men. And I'm like, a lot of them actually love their bodies, love the fact that they're women. They want to
yeah.
carry children.
I
They,
actually get
you
you on
know,
that one.
they love the fact that they're women. That's why they're lesbians. It's just that they feel most comfortable masculine, being masculine presenting.
mhm.
So when we have those types of shoots, they come running. So don't let them fool you, child, because at this point now, I think a lot of them are so comfortable and they trust the process that if I were
Right.
to say, hey, bring nude panties for this shoot, they trust the process
We
that
was here. We was here until you took me left again.
What, the panties?
You
some
took me
new
left
thong
again.
panties.
You took me left again.
No. But they trust the process now and they trust the fashion in it, because there was a long time that even studs would never go out without a bra. And now when I went to Pride, every other
The
stud
titty
was
tape.
was either no teddy tape even. It was just like,
Okay.
just let it hang. Like, because that's the
More confident.
look. That's the fashion look, with
Yeah.
that bare chest, leave your buttons open till here, and it's flashy with the shirts that kind of cut to your hip. That's the style. And so a lot of them were just like bare chested. And that would have, listen, I'm 40. Back in my day, I did not see that in studs.
Mhm.
Okay. So
Yep, they were wearing the binders. Remember the
yes,
the whole
any
the
kind of
eight tape?
two, three bras just to push them in. But the studs nowadays are gravitating, especially the masculine presenting lesbian community, period, is gravitating more to fashion and
Mhm.
what they feel looks good to them versus trying to, you know, follow this rule that's been put in place that says a stud is supposed to do this or a masculine presenting person is supposed to do that. They're just going for style and comfort and whatever makes them feel good. And I'm here for it.
Well, speaking of the masculine energy, Mr. You, because you do mentor young men, I think that even and especially with that, there's, Mr. You, are you frozen? Is he frozen? He looks frozen to me.
He looks frozen to me as well.
Okay.
No, Mr. You, come back,
It's
Mr.
the new
You.
panties that got everybody frozen.
Okay. Well, I'm going to.
Listen, listen, Miss Belt, let me know where you live and I'm going to send you a pack.
Okay.
Return
Well,
to sender.
I'm gonna let him get that
No.
straightened out, and then, but we're gonna move on because how did how did you get the idea, or what inspired you, Teresa, to create the Stud Model Project?
So it was two things. It was two parts. There was one part where I was watching America's Next Top Model, and there was a model on there. Her name is As Marie Livingston, and As Marie is absolutely androgynous, absolutely beautiful, amazingly handsome,
Mhm.
and they kept telling her how she needed to be softer. They kept trying to make her softer, and I was literally like, put her in a suit. Just put her in a suit. Because I
Mhm.
knew if they did that, she would just blossom, like she would shine and she would come alive. But they didn't do that. So I was just like, this is not fair. So I went trying to look for like other black models that were androgynous, and I would put in androgynous models, stud models, and I wasn't getting anything on Google. And this was like 12 years ago, 10, 12 years ago.
Okay.
I wasn't getting anything. And the ones that I did get, again, were very like thug look. I was just like, okay. And at that time, I was a promoter. I used to host events at
Mhm.
clubs, and I said I wanted to show an authentic representation of masculine presenting women in my events at my on my flyers, but I still couldn't find those images either. I looked for them. It was a whole bunch of like femme women, big booty, big, boobs that they were putting on all the flyers. I was like, that's not the people that look, they don't look
Right.
like that at my events. And so I bought a camera and I started taking pictures just to have, some photos, some nice polished photos for my flyers,
Mhm.
and to offer other promoters the option to use those photos if they needed them for like pride flyers and things like that. And people started showing up at our events dressed for photos. They were ready. They were showing
Okay.
up like they knew they were going to see my camera. And if they saw my camera, that photo was going to be posted somewhere. And it was
Mhm.
so it just started a snowball effect. And then I started getting stories from people saying how, they always wanted to model, but they couldn't see themselves in the modeling industry. They didn't
Mhm.
see someone who looked like them, so they quit. Their mother wanted them to model, but they don't like to wear heels and all the things that we talked about. So they quit. And it was just all these broken dreams and all these broken, hopes that they could be something and want to do something. But because they didn't see themselves, they thought they couldn't.
Right.
And that was when the light bulb just kind of was like,
I'm a
okay,
intervene. You remember
yeah.
Gia? Wasn't Gia like a
Yes,
masculine feminine?
yes,
Gia.
yes, yes,
Gia.
yes. But that was the one that was played by
Angela Jolie.
Angelina
Angelina
Jolie.
Jolie.
Yes,
Yeah.
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 All right. Is that Mr. You? Did you make it back? I think you're
Yeah,
still
yeah, my
frozen. There you
internet.
are.
Okay, he is moving.
My internet here at the
There you are.
office sucks.
But what I was
Yeah.
saying, Mr. You, as you mentor at-risk young boys in your community,
Mhm.
I've gone through your site. You're a very colorful designer. You use colors so well, and yet your aesthetic is still very masculine. And so,
Yes.
like I was saying before, sometimes we or in times past we've gotten stuck in this one rigid, masculine look. But the boys coming up now, their world is full of color. And so,
Right.
sometimes their masculinity, their manhood, their sexuality will be questioned just because they have, you know, an eclectic sense of fashion. So
Right.
how do you go in with those boys and impact their self-image and self-esteem letting them know that they don't have to be questioned as far as who they are.
That is an amazing question. I love it. And the first thing you always want to lead with, the thing I normally lead with is, so you want to talk about confidence, because that's really where it all stems from. And being able to put on anything and still exuberate that confidence. You know what I'm saying? Like, my mom always taught me, and I'm sure you guys probably heard this before. Never let the clothes make you. You make the clothes. You know
Right.
what I mean? So, and that is something that I dealt with also with, what I'm saying, being in the fashion industry, because it was this big stereotype that, all male models were, not masculine. And, and I was like, that's not true, because I'm an alpha male and I love the fashion industry. I feel like I was born into it, you know. So when I go in and speak to these young gentlemen about, what I'm saying, about their presentation and about their, what I'm saying, their personal grooming and how that ties into their and how it ties into their morals of life, what I'm saying, I never like lead with taking sides on from that aspect. It's really just about, what I'm saying, as far as like you being comfortable and what you want to, the message that you want to give off with your image, you know what I'm saying, and just being confident in that, you know what I mean. Like, fashion itself has evolved so much over the years, you know what I mean. Like, guys wear pink, purple, yellow, whatever, like light blues, whatever, you know what I'm saying. I think it's about your demeanor and how you express yourself with whatever you have on, you know what I'm saying. Never let the clothes make you. You make the outfit, you make the, you know what I'm saying. Like, nowadays it's like people don't wear matchy no more. We wear more offset patterns and plaids and things of that nature. It's like it's no rules anymore. You know what I'm saying?
No.
It's just about, you said, like, that picture right there. It's just about how comfortable you are in your skin. Like you guys were saying earlier, that is such a true statement. You know what I mean? And you make the outfit. You know what I'm saying? And I always tell people, your smile is the brightest thing that you can ever wear. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I'm also a photographer. You know what I'm saying? And I tell my models all the time, it's like, at the end of the day, when you run out of poses, just smile, because that's
Right.
gonna exuberate, that's gonna outshine anything you got on, because it's gonna show that confidence. It's gonna show that welcoming personality. Like, I feel confident and I feel great in what I got on. You know what I mean? So that's what I always lead
Absolutely.
with.
Well, let's take a look at this short clip of you mentoring these young men here in the community.
I need one-on-one.
Okay.
And look, I'm gonna tell you guys. Like, it was such a great experience, even for me, because over the years I took the tie. Only you guys knew how much clothes I got. I have clothes and shoes for years, okay? But I somehow, over the years, I kind of like took the necktie out of my wardrobe, because, you know what I'm saying, I like to wear my collar open. It's kind of like it's more like a business casual look, but kind of like a little bit more relaxed. But when I was asked to speak at that school, and they told me what was going on, they came from the back. They had this big box of ties. They didn't tell us beforehand that that's what we were going to be doing. But when I got there, they came out from the back with this big box of neckties. And they was like, okay, so we're going to teach the guys how to tie neckties. Mr. Usage, you're a stylist. And I'm looking around like, oh my God, like, do I remember how to tie a tie?
I don't know how to
But
do
look,
it. Shoot.
but
Testing
look,
your
by the grace of
skills.
God, by the grace of God, y'all. I before then, because I worked at Saks Fifth Avenue. I've worked at
Wow.
Macy's. I've worked at custom clothing stores. I've worked at other independent suit stores. Throughout my career. So I've done it. I've done it so many times. it's like a muscle. You know what I'm saying? It's just in me. You know what I'm saying? So once I actually went to that box and picked up one of those neckties, guys, and I put it around my neck, I couldn't even remember at first what skinny side, what the big side, what side it was going, but it came back to me so effortlessly. You know what I mean? I mean, it's like me teaching them was actually felt like it was reteaching myself. You know what I mean? So I'm saying that to say sometimes when we're doing these things and we're giving back and we're teaching other people and we're being an example or we're doing whatever in the community, sometimes it's enriching us. It's empowering us also. You know what I'm saying? As we're doing these things in the community, because like I was telling some of my guests this morning that I interviewed on my platform, a lot of the things that we go through in life, even though sometimes we're categorizing them as good or bad, and you know, say some things like it seems like it's hurtful and we don't know why we're going through it. Those things are not for us. It's for the other people who we're going to meet and paths that we're going to cross in life. It's to share those things or empower or uplift or encourage other people with our story on what we're going through. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
that was an amazing experience. I love those kids. Did you guys see how they were so engaged?
Yes, that
Yeah.
was let's take a look at this short clip as well.
Very important, especially as a man in today's society. You guys see it all the time, running into altercation with the police. Some of us don't make it to drive at all. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, sometimes we make a split decision, but sometimes not even a decision. Sometimes it's the appearance of what you may look like. Sometimes that's the world we live in. Sometimes it's wrong. We have our things that we feel about it. We see guys getting killed every day from whatever brutality.
That is so true. That is so true.
It's very true. It's very true. People sometimes address you. Sometimes people address you on how you're dressed.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like we see police brutality. We see that, and that's the point that I was making with that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we see police brutality. We see all these things in the media, and sometimes it's based off how we're presenting ourselves, and that's what causes them to treat us sometimes off what we look like. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're walking around, you sagging, you know what I'm saying, you looking like and you present yourself like a thug,
Like
even though
about
you
to
might
in
not.
trouble. Yeah.
It goes off what they see, like, you know what I'm saying. You see these police officers and they see this stuff on just like us. We go off stuff we see in the media, and we sometimes we judge it. That's just the world we live in. We live in a world of image on what stuff
Right.
look like. You know what I'm saying? Before we even actually know what it is. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes, you know what I'm saying, your presentation is everything, guys. And that's one thing that I feel like I use. I talk about it a lot as an image consultant, as a stylist, as a photographer. I'm always talking about image. You know what I'm saying? You want to look the part. If you tell people you're a stylist, you telling people you're a photographer, you telling people you're a fashion influencer, and you walking around and not looking like, who gonna believe it? It's still, like, at the end of the day, it's still sales, it's marketing, it's advertising. Even yourself, you're a walking billboard. You know what I'm saying? You are representing what you look like. You understand?
Right.
You guys, you get that,
I
right?
totally agree.
If
I totally agree.
I do.
I'm a football player, if I tell people I'm a football player, but I'm walking around, I don't look like I work
If I
out.
want to make
I don't
money,
look,
I'm gonna dress like money.
And that's
I'm
what
a
that is.
dress like it.
And I
Period.
like how you taking your platform, like they are going there to basically learn how to do a tie. I'm gonna hit you up later because I need help with that. But then you're taking your platform and you're shooting a positive message in there. And I like that. How you're doing that. You're teaching at the
I was
same
telling
time.
That's why I was telling Miss B. I was so glad that you guys invited me on this, because this is something that I'm so passionate about, because those things are true, and I'm so glad and so grateful to God that He allowed my life to go this direction, where He took my gift, took me through all of this grooming and all of this experience that I went through in my career early, because I found my passion early in life. I knew I loved fashion. I knew I loved modeling. I knew I loved doing fashion shows. I loved it. You know what I'm saying? But now, out of all of these years of pursuing this, He's allowing me to take all of this stuff that I've been through and allowing it to be positive.
Give him
You
the
know what I'm saying?
glory.
I love it. Like,
It,
you know what I'm saying? Because it's like having a superpower and using it for good. You know what I'm saying?
mhm,
Instead of it being
absolutely.
bad, hurting people, or people don't. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm so grateful for my life, guys, and I love it that I went through everything I went through, and now I have a voice in the community where I can go
Yes.
into schools and
Yes.
speak and inspire people. You know what I'm saying? I love it.
That is awesome. And Teresa, I actually wanted to bring out the God in Me video that you guys did with the, the spiritual jewelry and everything, because, as an evangelist, it's always, it does my heart good. Can y'all hear me? I hear some static. But
Yes.
anyway, it always does my heart good to hear people rep the God brand, okay?
Oh, for
And
sure.
and everything, and using that to to really give back to people and open them up, to let them know that things are not always as they seem. Okay, some
Yeah.
things are an illusion. Let's take a look at this clip real quick, y'all. Where did the time go? Oh my God.
Good conversation.
Look, when we
Okay,
having fun,
hold on,
when
let's
we're
see if
having
we can find
fun.
it.
Episode, because we are talking about metaphysics and we're talking about spirituality, I wanted to bring in an element of, crystals, stones, um, just those natural elements that brings us together as a collective, as an energy. So we got in contact with a jeweler, Creation's Best. It's created by a young lady called Naima, and she does a fantastic job. I'm actually wearing one of her pieces. She does a fantastic job in just bringing the crystals and the elements together to speak to each person and whatever energy it is that you're trying to to bring about, to focus on. These pieces are fantastic. So that is what the models are going to be modeling today. So you get to see them kind of bring whatever it is that they talked about with Magic Monroe. They get to bring that on set and bring that together with your jewelry. Every day, I don't walk alone. Gun on my Bible, I'm a survivor. Lucy and Colin, niggas is liars. Keep survivors. Don't pop at the scoop, I will pop at your mama. Death for dishonor. I got everything that I wish for, nigga. Can't tell you shit that I've been through, nigga. Every day, no weapon for. I don't walk alone. Hey. Fuck what you thinking? Fuck what you thinking? You are now witnessing the arrival. Fuck what you thinking?
Reminds me of my little skull head. Well, y'all, but we're about to
I
wrap it
love
up,
it.
but I
I
want
love that
both of
video.
you to answer this question for me. What advice do you have? Because you are mentors, you're role models. What advice do you have for aspiring filmmakers, Teresa, and content creators, fashion designers who want to promote diversity and representation in their work? Because you're here because of your unique style. Teresa, you want to go first?
Yes.
Yeah, sure, sure. So one of the advice that I would give anyone starting out in this industry that wants to either model or wants to be a content creator or filmmaker is first of all, make sure that what you are trying to create, you have synergy with, meaning that you have some kind of alignment with the message that you are putting out. You're not just trying to do what you think is trending. You're not trying to do what someone else is doing because you see them making money. You're trying to solve a problem, maybe a problem you have or someone that you're close to, or something that you are really really like Mr. Hughes said, passion. Like, if you don't have that burning desire and passion where you wake up in the morning and that's all you can freaking think about, you're not, to me, that you're not there yet. Because I literally eat, drink, sleep what I do. And because
So
I
do
know, you know what I mean? Because I've come
I.
to that point in my life where what I'm doing is bigger than me. What I'm doing has impacted so many people's lives that at this point, it's no longer a Teresa Morcho show. It was never a Teresa Morcho show, but it's no longer about me. I am working for the mission at this point. And so when you get to that point where you have goosebumps about it, you want to talk to people about it. You get jitters. You're just like, I because you can see the future. I tell everyone that, listen, envision what when I say envision it, I mean, if you have to put yourself in it, put yourself in it. I'm living where I live at right now in a place where I never thought that I could possibly afford, probably. And there was just one time I said, you know what? I'm going to rent it out as an Airbnb and I'm going to put my feet in it. I'm going to smell what it looks like. I'm going to look out the window. I'm going to be in that moment in a place where I want to be. I visualize it, and I tell everyone that if you want to follow your dreams, you can't follow your dreams unless you have visualized it. If you've never visualized it, you following somebody else's dream.
Absolutely.
Okay. Mr. You?
Absolutely. I mean, I love her answer. It's like, how do I follow that up? Yes, I mean, I guess to kind of like sort of what piggyback on what she's saying, but you have to find your individuality. You know what I'm saying? Find out what it is about. Find out what it is that you do differently than everybody else. We all have a purpose. And I think when you find your purpose, you find your passion. And secondly, never limit yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like you guys probably, like she read my bio earlier. I do photography. I still model at 38 years old. You know what I'm saying? I'm acting. I'm starting a stage play coming up. You know what I'm saying? I still coach. I mentor. I go out to the schools. You know what I'm saying? I still produce fashion shows. It's like, that's Mr. You. You know what I'm saying? Yes, that's the stage play. I'm starring as Joshua in this stage play. You know what I'm saying? But never limit yourself. Find out what it is that you're passionate about and just shoot for the stars. If you shoot for the stars, you must land on the moon or somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Never limit yourself and never let anybody. I went through this and I thought it was just like some little like facade or something. But people will try to tell you what you can't do because they don't see themselves doing it. People will try to speak their story onto you. Oh, I would have did this. No, that's what you would have did. That don't necessarily mean that's for me or that's my story or my journey. Don't limit yourself and never let nobody else limit you. Find your passion, find your individuality, and just go for it,
Word.
man.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? This
And
2020. This
I'm gonna
2020.
add that to what you just said. One quote my mother used to tell me all the time, and I used to sit there and be like, "Mom, I can't do this. I don't know how to do this." And she would look at me and be like, "Oh, child, you love to fight for your limitations." So when
Oh,
I talk to
wow.
people, I talk to people who will tell me, "Oh, I can't do this because I don't have this because I can't be this." I said, "Oh, child, you love fighting for your limitations."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna leave people with that. When you open your mouth and say, "Oh, I can't do this," just know that you are putting in wartime.
You
You are
speaking.
putting in pressure to
You
Yes.
fight for
speaking.
your own limitations, baby, because you are the only one that can fix that.
Wow.
Right.
Ooh, I swear to God, I just wrote a post this morning about the word can't. I just
Okay.
did a whole
Can't
post
never
about
could do
can't.
nothing. That's what my grandmother said.
Oh,
Can't never could do nothing.
that's what I'm saying. Can't ain't even a
That's
part of
what's
the
up.
vocabulary.
Well, look, y'all. Look, that's a wrap on another
And on that note,
episode
I like to make stuff
of
happen. I use the theory make it happen.
right.
Yes.
On another episode of Hot Pink Pride Media podcast. I'm so glad that you guys could be here.
Yeah.
You guys wanted to take a quick outro and thank our special guest Teresa Morcho and Mr. Yu for sharing your insights and experiences with us today. Don't forget to follow them on social media and check out their websites for more amazing content. Okay,
I
Miss
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Thank
Detail.
you for having us.
I appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
And thank you
Absolutely.
guys for, supporting our efforts here as well. We do appreciate the support and coming on and letting our listeners and followers discover your talent. So we all getting ready to go thumb through studmodel.com,
I know.
Stud
Y'all
Model
said it was a
Project.
fashion thing, so I said, let me come on in my closet.
I heard that.
I ain't forgot about my tie. I finna go look him up when he was mentoring them
Look,
kids.
he needs to come over here and teach us how to bow tie.
Yeah,
Some of my
I still
studs
use
are
my
having
tie.
issues with the
I
bow
got
tie.
yeah.
I
And
was
look,
hoping for
bow ties
opportunities,
are
right?
easier than neckties.
Oh
Yeah.
Lord, come on then. Come on to Atlanta, baby.
I
I would
still do
love
the
to
snap, the little clip
collab
off.
between
And I'm
this
actually coming to
Oh,
Atlanta
so
too,
clip
so
bars.
we definitely
Yeah,
probably
the
need to
clip
link.
bars.
I
They
still
still
do the
make the
little
clip
clip
bars?
part. I still do the clip
Yes,
part. I'm not
me
gonna.
and look, me and you, we need to collaborate. What's her
you
name?
right
We
Yeah.
there.
I'm
You
here
got
for it. I
$10.
am
I'm
here for it.
telling you, that would
Just
be so
Yes, I gotta
awesome.
get
please
some
find me on Stud Model Project, at Stud Model Project, or at Teresa Morcho, TeresaMorcho. Please
Miss
find
B. Miss
me.
B, y'all send me her information. There's a lot of stuff going
Okay, I
on.
sure
Well,
will. I'm
that's
about to look her up right now because I gotta accept
I am
it
to look
myself.
her up. And
Cause
for the
she
studs
don't
out
know I
there,
will come down. I will come to Atlanta with the
Come
yeah.
clip bars.
on.
And
Listen,
for
we have a hub in Atlanta, in Houston. We have one in New York. We have one in LA. We have one in Kenya. Come on.
okay,
okay.
Kenya,
Come
come
on.
through.
And for the
Okay.
studs out there, before
International.
y'all even audition, get you some new panties.
That
Oh,
part.
all right, y'all. Good night. We'll see you guys later.